Teddy, are you ready? Welcome back to the Cape Town Freediving Lockdown Breath Hold series. This is Teddy and he will be my partner for today. Today's short talk about safety ended up being not that short. This video is important for you, our static champ, as well as for your non-freediving partner who you roped into being your safety. Don't panic. We will explain basic safety measures and how to look out for someone doing static. The most basic and the most important measure you can put in place is to never do breath holds on your own. Having someone with you has two main reasons. One, if you do experience a blackout, they can act as quickly as possible to revive you. And two, they act as your coach to observe you, to give instructions and to record information about your statics. You will either be doing statics dry or in the pool. If you are doing dry breath holds, make sure there are no sharp edges around and that you are in a comfortable position. If you are doing statics in the pool, make sure to have a swim board or a pool noodle at the edge when surfacing. Our main concern during static apnea is that we may experience a blackout. Even though our body has amazing mechanisms in place to help preserve oxygen, at some stage our O2 pressures drop below what is necessary for us to remain conscious. The point at which this happens varies greatly from person to person, and regular training can help extend the point at which this happens. If we have pushed too far, our body will go into self-preservation mode and will start to shut down. Muscles relax, our heart slows down, body functions are reduced to the minimum, and we lose consciousness. To the non-freediving partners, here's an amazing mode of preservation that kicks in. Big word, laryngospasm. This means that the vocal fold locks tight to prevent inhalation of foreign substances. This serves us pretty well during freediving, as it prevents water from entering the lungs and prevents drowning. Pretty amazing, right? This lasts for a few minutes, but it varies especially depending on environmental conditions. Unless otherwise prompted, the body will stay in this state until O2 reaches a critical level. At this stage, the lock in the throat is released and the body will draw in air. That means if you are doing a dry static or are face up in the water, you will recover in a very short amount of time. If you are in water and your face is submerged, you will draw water into the lungs. At this stage, drowning occurs. This is the greatest danger in freediving. Not the blackout itself, but having one in water on your own, because then it is too late to do anything. If there's nothing else you take away from this series, please remember this. Do not freedive alone and practice rescue procedures with your buddies. Now, is it possible to recognize the blackout coming on in yourself? Yes and no. Some notice that the breath hold starts to feel easier, they experience tunnel vision, or they become confused. But many people lack the body awareness to recognize the symptoms coming on. This is why it's so important to constantly check in with yourself to see if you're getting any hypoxic symptoms. This is also why it is so important to recognize hypoxic signs in someone else. During static, we look out for these signs: pale or blue lips and faces, change in body color, body tremors including shaking of the limbs and nodding of the head, exhaling air when doing dry statics, bubbles when doing wet statics, confusion, and not responding to your prompts. If you, the body, see signs of an oncoming blackout, stay calm and tell the other person to start breathing and coach them through their recovery breathing. You will see them recover pretty quickly. Teddy, are you ready? It can happen upon surfacing that the diver starts to experience something called a LMC, loss of motor control, or Samba. This means there is insufficient oxygen available for the muscles and they start to shake. At this stage, our ingrained habit of recovery breathing or hook breathing can pull us back from the brink and help us recover. This is what recovery breathing looks like. Make sure your diver does this after each breath hold. Coach them, prompt them, hook, hook, hook. If they have pushed themselves over the edge, blackout will occur. Buddies, listen up. This is what you have to do. Firstly, stay calm. Secondly, if it happens in water, turn your diver around, take off the mask, and do blow, tap, talk. Gently blow across their face, tap their cheeks and collarbone, call their name and tell them to breathe. Breathe, Teddy, breathe. Breathe, Teddy, breathe. They should recover pretty quickly. The reason we do the blow, tap, talk is that we want to activate our senses and trigger the breathing responses. If you are on land, just do the blow tap talk. That is all that is necessary. Secondly, avoid big breath holds for the next few days. The body needs time to recover. If you do experience a blackout, you need to ask yourself the following questions. 1. Why did I have a blackout? 2. What did I experience towards the end of the breath hold? And 3. How can I avoid future blackouts? The questions help you analyze the experience and to create better body awareness. By adopting a slow, gradual approach, you let your body, as well as your mind, get used to what you are doing. We want to give the body time to adapt and become comfortable with the different physiological changes that occur during a breath hold. By doing so gradually, you increase tolerance, you relax more, and you incrementally increase your breath holds. Repeated blackouts are counterproductive to what we are trying to achieve. They are also stressful to witness for the people around you, and remember, you need them on your side. If you really want to see what a blackout or Sambas look like, there's a link to a compilation video below. Notice all the signs mentioned above in the video. So the big question, are there long-term effects to having a blackout? There are a few studies done on freedivers and the effect breath holding has on the body. The research to date indicates that there are no long-term physiological effects of having blackouts. So do not worry. Your loved ones will not lose any more of their already limited brain cells. So I will see you tomorrow when I'll take you through a static session.